Good day once again, my name is Graphics. Let's take a look at this example. It says a body of mass 5 kg, the mass of the body m given as what? 5 kg, is given an acceleration of 20 meters per second square. The acceleration is 20 meters per second square. Calculate the force required when the acceleration is vertically upward. So we should look for what? Our force required when the acceleration is what? Vertically upward. Is that the key? So now let's assume that this is our horizontal ground and this is the mass placed on the ground. Now we know that when you place any object on the ground, it has a weight acting downward, which is given as what? W. And W is given as what? Mass times what? Gravity. Now there will be a reaction force that will be acting normal to the surface also, and we call it our normal reaction, Fn, or our reaction force. And it's telling us that it's saying that calculate the force required when the acceleration is vertically upward. Now since the acceleration is vertically upward, the total force, summation of all the forces, all the vertical force, is equal to what? 0. And let us consider upward force to be positive and downward force to be what? Negative. Now the upward force is normal force, Fn. The weight says what? Minus what? W, equals to what? 0. Now if you look at this, if you have summation of f of y is equal to 0 and my normal force minus W is equal to 0, therefore my summation of f of y will give me normal force minus what? W, since both of them are equal to 0, so they are equal to each other. Now recall F is equal to what? Mass times acceleration. Force is equal to what? Mass times what? Acceleration, right? So wherever I see my force, I put mass acceleration, and this is the force here. So this will give me the mass times acceleration along y-axis is equals to the normal force minus what? Mass times gravity, because the weight W given as what? Mass times gravity. Now if you collect like terms, my mass times acceleration along y-axis is plus my mass times gravity. When I take this mg to the other side of the equal sign, the minus will follow it, and on the process it will turn to a plus. So it's equals to what? Normal force, right? So if you look at this properly, mass is common. So if I bring the mass out, I'll be left with acceleration along y plus what? Gravity is equals to what? Normal force. So the mass is given as what? 5 kg, which is 5 into bracket, acceleration is given as 20, and gravity is given as 9.81. So will give us what? Our force. So when you multiply First of all, you add 20 plus 9.81, you have 5 into bracket 29.81 equals to what? The normal force. So 5 times 29.81, 5 times 29.81, 149.05. So we have my normal force, or the force, is equal to what? 149.05 Newton. So this is the normal force here. Thank you very much.